Okay, very good afternoon to you, and welcome to round 21 of season 7 of the SRL F1 2021 World Championship on the PS4 platform. The Japanese Grand Prix at the Suzuka circuit, 27 laps for the penultimate round of season 7. And the penultimate round on F1 2021. Only Suzuka and the final race at Interlagos to go in this season. The longest season we've had in the SRL F1 Championship with 22 rounds in total. And we're getting ready for the penultimate race at the only figure of 8 track on the Formula 1 calendar. This classic venue, Suzuka circuit. Of course, a very fast and flowing but also technical track. And we've seen some great races here over the years, in real life and also in SRL. And hopefully we'll also see a good race today. As we are getting ready for all the drivers to join the session and ready up to start with the 18-minute qualifying session. We've got Sander Dullis in the Ferrari. He's had a really good season. He is currently in P4 in the driver standings, just 12 points behind Alexei Kovenemi. Excuse me, that was the championship table that is on the website, which isn't updated yet. He is actually just 3 points behind Alexei Kovenemi for P3 in the standings. Alexei Kovenemi is on 228, Sander Dullis is on 225. So he is still within a chance to secure a top 3 position in the championship for this season. Alexei Kovenemi, he's had a solid year as well. And like I said, just a few points ahead of Sander Dullis and P3 in the championship. Jensen Randall, of course, leading the way. Robin Herstadhagen in the McLaren. He's also in P11. I think that's also his best SRL season to date. Logan Ron, he is in second place in the championship. Unfortunately crashing out in the previous round in Jeddah after colliding with the lap car of Jurgen Rusic. Christian Doorman, P14 in the championship for him. In front of Brian Power. He's had a tough year, P23 in the standings. Hi Jesper Lampinen, thanks for tuning in. Reese March, he made his SRL return last time in Jeddah. Unfortunately, it didn't last long as he was caught up in a lap 1 crash caused by Max Mulder, so sadly his SRL comeback didn't go as planned, but he'll be looking to make up for that this weekend here in Suzuka. But he is down in 21st position in the championship on 8 points. Because he did actually score a couple of points at the beginning of the year. Guillermo Garcia. He is currently P30 with just 1 point. But he definitely has much more potential than that. He showed great pace in Jeddah last time. And we also saw Max Mulder there. He won the SRL GT3 Championship last week in Zolder. He was challenged all season by Sam Brand, who unfortunately isn't here today. He was actually supposed to commentate today, but he had some rescheduling in his work, so we had to swap around because I was supposed to do the last race, but We've swapped places, so that means that I'm commentating today, and I'll be driving for the final round in Interlagos, which will be great because the last SRL F1 race I have personally driven was Portimao, where I crashed out, which is over a month ago. But yeah, Max Mulder wrapped up the GT3 Championship last time in Zolder last week, and this will be his first F1 race as a GT3 champion. But of course, those series are completely separate from each other. Sonderdul is saying that this is actually his favorite track. I didn't actually know that, but I definitely agree on that because this is also one of my favorite tracks. I wouldn't say it is my absolute favorite, but it's certainly one of them. Especially the first sector with the S's is one of my favorite sections on this circuit. It's very technical but flowing at the same time. You have to be really intelligent with the lines you choose, and you can definitely gain a lot of time if you nail it. So, it's been overcast here in qualifying. As we wait for the first drivers to hit the track. And with those clouds in the sky, it wouldn't surprise me if there could be a possibility of rain towards the end of the session, but I don't have a weather forecast here, so it's only the drivers that are aware of what the weather is going to do. But of course, if rain is expected, then it's going to be crucial to get a lap in early. And the drivers will have had an indication as well for what the weather is going to be doing for the race, or at least what the forecast is. And here we see the number 64 Aston Martin, Max Mulder. Like I said before, recently crowned the SRL GT3 champion, driving for Audi. He did crash out in the previous F1 race as he takes the Suzuka 8-hour endurance layout there. Driving through the chicane in the middle sector. But yeah, he did crash out sadly in the previous race in Jeddah, straight away on the first lap, so we're looking to bounce back from that and get a solid result here. But Sonderdul explained that this is his favorite track. This is actually one of the least favorite tracks for Max Mulder. He doesn't like this track, so hopefully that won't hold him back too much. Guillermo Garcia in the Alfa Romeo here. He showed some really good pace in Jeddah as he runs by there. He had to snap oversteer on the exit there of the S's. Showed good pace in Jeddah, but unfortunately crashed out there as well. Reese March in the Alpine today. He was in the Red Bull 2 weeks ago, replacing myself. This time he is teammates with Logan Aron. Brian Power here in the Williams. We can see a couple of yellow flags in Sector 1. But it might just be someone who ran off or maybe slowed down to get out of the way. Dion Stahl, solid race for him as well in Jeddah. P8 in the championship, so a pretty decent year for him as well. As we once again see yellow flags, maybe I'll turn on the track map to see the overview, to maybe spot someone going slowly. Talking about going slowly, one of the Alpines, Reese March, has had an incident. He is currently facing the gravel trap. And that is something we might see very often this weekend, because the S's with the curvings, oh yeah, that was a perfect example. Reese demonstrating what I was about to explain here. The curbs on this track are lethal. I mean, you have to be very, very careful, because if you hit the curb at a wrong angle, you're likely going to spin up. There we can see the Haas as well on the left. Oh my god, the Reese done it again. Almost gets collected by Jensen. And this is A bit embarrassing. You can see Guillermo Garcia. He actually crashed out. Guillermo Garcia and Alfa Romeo just spun on the exit of Decna 1. Sorry, on the exit of the Dunlop curve. And lost his wheel. And Reese March also going into the gravel. What a bizarre start to the session, but I think that is enough proof to how difficult this track actually is. Logan Ron sets the pace, he sets the benchmark with a 1:28.217. 6 tenths clear of Jensen Randall in second place. Oh, there we can see a Williams off as well. That must have been Brian Power, it was. As he rejoins the track safely. Reese March coming around the final corner here. And he's actually gonna peel off into the pit lane. We'll pick up Jure Marisic. As we see yellow flags sector 3. Marisic has been caught up in quite a bit of controversy. Of course, after that crash in Jeddah, he was a lap down, he lost control of his car, and he was stricken in the middle of the circuit. And sadly, it just happened to be Logan Aron who was coming up behind him and had nowhere to go. Didn't see it coming, smashed into Jure Marisic's Red Bull. Logan Aron was out of the session, Jure was able to continue on, but of course he did take away Logan Aron's almost certain race win and also effectively end Logan Aron's hopes of winning the championship. So he has been involved in quite a bit of controversy and criticisms over the last 2 weeks, so hopefully he can have a good race here and have a clean race here today to make up for that. Oh, Nicola Fonseresi lost it on the curb and he is into the wall. Thomas Bergamo tuning in on live chat. He was just saying that Fonseresi was gonna get pole position. Well, I think you just jinxed him. I think you just jinxed him. He crashed out straight after you said that. Nicola Fonseresi, of course, after taking his maiden victory in Jeddah last time out, has ended the session. He doesn't actually have a lap time on the boards. So he's gonna be starting from outside of the top 10. Oh, look at that. Christian Dorman there, almost losing it as well on the exit. And that means that already 2 drivers have actually retired from this session. Robin Hersthagen, also without a lap time yet, is coming around the final corner. And the number 8 goes up into P0 because he didn't actually set a time. He is just about to start his final. Apologies for that. Should pay more attention to the lap time. Maybe I can turn on the telemetry and the lap counter to actually see what the drivers are doing. Let's see how Robin Hersthagen is able to negotiate the first sector. Took it pretty cleanly. Alexi Kovenemi is currently on an out lap, as is Jensen Randall. Trying to create a bit of space and warm up his tires. So yeah, in the halfway point of the session, most drivers are on the out laps at the moment after completing their first run. We'll pick up Alexi Kovenemi here. His first lap is good enough for 5th place, but still 2.2 seconds down on Logan Aron, so he probably still has a bit of time to find as he flies through the S here in the first sector. Very neatly done. That's how you should take the first sector. It looks easy. It certainly isn't. Using all the curbing there as well on Decna 1 and Decna 2. as the Williams was out of the way there. Into the hairpin. It's very easy to lock up and go straight, and also a very difficult exit there. You're accelerating from a very low speed, so it's very easy to burst into wheel spin. Into the spoon curve. Running it wide, then cutting it back, getting on the power. The track falls down a little bit there, which aids your traction as you come up towards the back straight. Running up to 130R. Flat out. And now into the triangle chicane. This has looked like a very good lap for Alexei Kovenemi. He's gonna improve to 3rd position. Just 9/10 of a second behind the current poleman, Logan Aron. Leon Stahl, currently in 5th position, 1.8 seconds behind. I think he just started his flying lap as well. Because you almost have to avoid the curves. You can't attack them because the car is just gonna spin around on you. Yellow flags in sector 1, it's for Jurgen Rusic. He has lost his car here through the S's. Like we've already seen so many drivers do already in this session. He rejoins the track safely and is able to continue his way. Doesn't look like there's a lot of damage, luckily for the Dutchman. And he spins out again as he comes through the final part of the first S section there. Luckily there's nobody coming up behind him this time. And also it looks like Max Mulder has lost his car as well on the exit of Degner 1. Correction, that is exit of Degner 2. So lots of drivers making mistakes here. Oh, and Max has spun it again through the hairpin. Probably overheated those rear tires. Luckily it didn't hit the wall, so he can continue his way without damage, but it does look very embarrassing. Hi, Sam Brandt. Thanks for tuning into the live chat. As Max Mulder runs wide there again in the hairpin. Oh, and Jurgen Rusic just spun through the hairpin. He just kept out of the wall there. It looks like the track has very little grip. We've seen so many drivers make mistakes and spinning out. Maybe it's the cold track temperatures. It's causing a lot of problems here. It is very overcast, so... Yeah, bizarre. I've never seen a qualifying session with so many incidents. Of course, we already saw Guillermo Garcia and Alexei Falsrezi crash out. Well, we know that they are very competent drivers, especially Nicola Falsrezi after winning last time in Jeddah. And also already a countless amount of spins we've had in this session. So most of the drivers inside the garage at the moment. And also Max Mulder still hasn't really set a representative lap time yet. He is currently still 5 seconds down on Logan Aron's 128.217. The two Mercedes now both on their out laps. We'll track them because they are certainly two drivers that could possibly challenge Logan Aron's lap time. Also Christian Dorman exiting the pits now to start his final run. So it's the two Mercs and one Haas that are currently out on the circuit. Jensen Renault being the first of the drivers to start the first flying lap of the last run in this session. Come around the final corner, opening the DRS. As we range up towards turn 1, trying to stay all the way to the left here. Braking after the 50 meter point. You can already brake when you're actually in the corner. That's how much speed you can carry through there. Running it right on the exit. Oh, he loses it and he's into the wall. Jensen Randall is out of qualifying. That now leaves Alexei Kovenemi to make an attempt maybe on that 128.2 set by Logan Ron. Can anyone beat that lap time? It looks like Logan Ron is just breaking everyone trying to actually beat that time. Alexei Kovenemi does manage to get through that first sector where Jensen just lost the car as he comes through the S's. He is a little bit wide there, that's going to compromise him here. Looks like he can still carry good amount of speed through there, but I think he was compromised there slightly. Want to be tighter on that first section. Into Dekna 1. Oh, he could have attacked the curb there a bit more. Dekna 2. Trying to focus it on the exit. I don't think this lap is going to be good enough. Into the hairpin. I think it's not going to be good enough. It doesn't look like he's attacking the corners. Doesn't look like his Drummond is on a very good lap as well. Yeah, currently 3 seconds down. Yeah, Alexei Kovenemi actually. Maybe his smooth driving is making him able to actually do a good lap time. Look at that, second place, 128.6. I'm sorry for criticizing his lap time because it is actually a lot faster than it looked. That might have been the key. It looked so smooth that it almost looked slow. But it certainly wasn't slow. At 28.6 is a really good lap time. So apologies to Alexei Kovenemi. I thought he had backed out of it, but he was just driving so smoothly that it looked slow, but it certainly wasn't. Something to release here in the number 69 Ferrari. Just 50 seconds remaining in this session, so all of the drivers here on outlaps are going to start their final attempt to improve the lap time. Also Imrisic out for his final run. Those drivers should have enough time to come across the line in time. Also a crucial lap coming up for Max Mulder, because he is currently down in 11th place. 5 seconds down. So hopefully he'll be able to get a good lap in here on this final attempt. As he comes through the S's. Oh, a bit of a snap there and he's into the gravel. That's gonna ruin it. Max Mulder is gonna start from outside of the top 10. Sanderdule is now coming through the S's as well. Let's see how he tackles it. That looked much better. Great commitment through there. It's Dekna 1. And now Dekna 2. Great camera shot as well there from above. Great exit into the hairpin. Probably one of the most difficult corners, even though it's the slowest one, especially the exit here. You have to maximize the exit because if you burst the wheel spin, it just loses you so much momentum for this entire section. Into spoon curve, yeah, that looked great as well, running it wide into the curbs. And again on the exit. Imrisic seems to be on a much better lap as well this time. We'll see if he can improve his lap time and move up a few positions. Sanderdule is coming through 130R now, of course easily flat nowadays with the modern F1 cars into the Casio triangle. That looked good on the exit, up to the line. He goes from 6th into 4th place, 128.9, improves by 3/10, moves himself up into 4th position. Very good lap there for Sanderdule. And Jurem Rusic was the last driver to cross the line. So, these are your qualifying results. Logan Aron looking to bounce back from his misfortune in Jeddah. 128.217 in front of Alexei Koivaniemi in second place. Jens Rendo in third position in front of Sander Dulis, Dion Staal, Christian Doorman. Ries March, Jurem Rusic improved by one position in front of Max Mulder. Brian Power in 10th place, Robin Hersenhagen, Nicola Valtresi and Guillermo Garcia rounding off the 13 driver lineup for today. So in 30 seconds we will begin the formation lap. It's a sunny Suzuka here in the race. So hopefully the drivers won't struggle as much as what they did in that overcast qualifying session. As we start the formation lap, I will quickly adjust my audio volumes a little bit because I think the game sound could be slightly louder, so hopefully this will be a little bit better. Any feedback as well on the live chat will be appreciated. I'm always trying to balance out the microphone level and the in-game audio levels as well, because of course you also want to hear a bit of the engine sounds, but not too much. It always sounds a little bit different in my headset than what it does on the live stream. Anyway, Logan Aron, starting from pole position, looking to make up for his DNF last time in Jeddah. Alexei Koivaniemi in second place, Jensen Rendel backing up his teammate in P3. Sander Dulis, a very solid qualifying session for him and also for his teammate Dion Staal. A very good session for Ferrari. Starting from 4th and 5th. Christian Doorman in 6th place in front of Ries March and Jurem Rusic. I'm very interested to see what he can do in the race today. Max Mulder, recently crowned GT3 champion in 9th place, and Brian Power completing the top 10 in that 38 Williams. In front of Robin Hersenhagen, Nicola Valtresi. I'm very excited to see what he can do as well today. Starting from P12 after crashing out in qualifying. He does finally have that first victory under his belt. So the pressure might be a little bit off for this weekend because he already has that monkey off his back. And Guillermo Garcia completing the grid today. As the drivers line up on the grid. As we get ready for 27 laps at the Suzuka International Racing Course at this figure of 8 circuit. We're in Suzuka. It's the last Saturday of May. Round 21 of SRL Season 7 is underway. Good start from Alexei Koivaniemi there on the inside of that front row. But Logan Aron maintains the lead into turn 1. Jensen Rendel behind his teammate Alexei in 3rd position. In front of Sander Dulis in 4th. Dion Staal in 5th place. Christian Doorman there being able to stay in front of Ries March. Couple of incidents further back, a brief yellow flag. It looks like everyone has been able to get through the first couple of corners unscathed as we come through the S for the first time. And it looked like everyone has avoided any incidents or any damage, so that's great to see. Couple of position changes for the back. Oh no, that's the open of Reese March. What has happened further back? I think Reese March made a mistake there, and he has potentially damaged his car. We can see a couple of position changes here as well further back. That is Robin Herstag and Brian Power as they go into the spoon curve for the first time. Oh, and Jeroen Brus is there. He run wide in the exit. He's going to lose a position to Brian Power and also to Robin Herstag and drops back to outside of the points, P11. As we see a change for second place as well. I think that was Jensen Rendell overtaking Alexei Kovenemi into the Casio Triangle. Logan Aron opens the account with a 132.159 already. 1.4 seconds ahead of Jensen Rendell. As Reese March goes into the pit lane, so he did damage his car there on the first lap. But luckily he's still in the race, unlike last time. So hopefully he'll be able to recover from this. It's still a long way to go. Of course, oh, Max Mulder there spinning out into the gravel. He lost the DS. He manages to do a 360, keeping out of the barriers. I think he just avoided the touch with the bubble. Oh, we can see Jeroen Brus spin as well. And the Williams is off too. What's going on? Jeroen Brus reverses into Brian Power there. And Alfa Romeo has spun as well. What's going on here then? Luckily everyone's still in the race. I think that was Jeroen Brus who spun. Brian Power has lost his front wing. Guillermo Garcia spun as well. That was almost like synchronized spinning through the S's. And we've got a virtual safety car. That was crazy. I don't know if Jeroen Brus and Brian Power made contact with each other. I don't know if Guillermo Garcia was caught up in it as well, but it looked like those were three separate incidents. And Max Mulder spinning as well. It was like 4 drivers just spun at the exact same moment in the same corner, despite not actually making contact with each other. Never seen anything quite like that. The virtual safety car has disappeared again, so racing resumes. Sander Doel is here, following Alexei Kovenemi closely. Guillermo Garcia as well making an attack on Max Mulder into turn 1. Mulder manages to stick it around the outside. As also Brian Power goes into the pit lane to repair his front wing. And also in the meantime, Jensen Rendell is closing down the gap to Logan Aron, just 0.8 of a second. Already 1.9 seconds in front of Alexei Kovenemi. Yellow flags in sector 1. And that is for the Alpine of Reese March. He has lost it in the S's as well. And it looks like Brian has followed him. As Guillermo Garcia gets the move done. Oh, Max Mulder has a bit of a moment there on the exit. Lots of drivers struggling here, especially in the first sector. How many times are we going to see drivers spinning off in the first sector? Jensen Rendell, 131.671. He is closing down the gap to Logan Aron. 0.7 of a second as we open lap 4. We see Max Mulder retaliating on Guillermo Garcia. Nice scrapping going on for 9th position. And while we are looking at this, I'm just keeping an eye on the battle at the front between Logan Aron and Jensen Rendell. And also Alexei Kovenemi and Sander Doel still being very close to each other. And also Ruben Hersendagen not being too far in front of those two. There we can see him in the orange McLaren running in P8. Meanwhile, Jensen Randall continues to close down the gap. It's just 0.4 of a second now between him and the American. Will we see a move for the lead of the race as you open up lap 5? Another fast lap, 1:31.664 for Jensen Randall. He closes the gap to under half a second as we see a McLaren spinning off. Oh, there's been a massive incident further back. I'm not sure what has happened, but Guillermo Garcia is out of the session, as is Ruben Hersendagen. That must have happened on the exit of 130R, and a safety car has been deployed. Apologies for not showing it in a live stream. I was watching that battle earlier on, just minutes ago. But unfortunately we can't spectate retired cars, and we saw 2 cars there standing on the exit of 130R, so that must have been a very fast crash. And it happened right here, but it looks like it's already been cleaned up. So what does this mean for the strategy then? Will anyone try and use the safety car to get an undercut and pretty early? We can see that Jensen Randall has started on mediums, which makes his qualifying position and his pace early on in his race even more impressive. I think this does take away his tire advantage a little bit. Now, will the soft runners make a pit stop? I think they might, to get an undercut. I think the mediums could possibly be able to go to the end. Yeah, there they go, into the pit lane. Now, of course, Logan Ron can switch to mediums, but Jensen Randall will have to go to softs. And he certainly can't make that to the end. So is he counting on another safety car, or is he gonna commit to the 2-stop now? Yeah, everyone coming in now to the pit lane. Some dualies to mediums. Ferrari double stacking, as did Mercedes. Dion Stahl also to mediums. Actually, Dion Stahl switching to hard compounds. Jeroen Brisic, yeah, mediums as well for him. I think the mediums should be able to make it to the end. So Dion Stahl has gone a little bit conservative here, selecting for the hard tire. Max Muller as well has pitted from mediums. And also Reese March has opted for the hards. So we've got 3 drivers on softs, 2 drivers on hards, and the remaining drivers on mediums. Well, the hards can definitely go to the end. The mediums should be able to go to the end. The softs definitely shouldn't be able to go to the end. So, yeah, some interesting split strategies here. I think, yeah, mediums, it is a bit of a stretch, but it should be fine. I mean, of course, soft runners aren't going to make it, so they're going to have to pit maybe the likes of Alexi Fatseis, Jensen Randall, and Christian Dorman are counting on another safety car. Because with the frequency of accidents we've had so far already in this race, it is likely that we are going to see another safety car. I think the chances are higher that there will be another one than the chances of there not being a further safety car. Great overhead shot here of Jeroen Brisic in the number 29 Red Bull. And he is the only driver so far who has picked up a time penalty. But I can tell you it is very easy to do around here, so he certainly won't be the only one. As we're waiting for Brian Power and Reese March to close up to the queue here. So while we are waiting here on the safety car, maybe any feedback from the live chat in terms of the sound, because for me the game audio is very loud, but it's always less loud on the live stream itself, so I think the sound should be fine. But if someone could confirm that to me, then that would be great, because it feels like it is too loud, but it is always lower, the volume, on the actual live stream, so that's why I increased the volume a little bit just before the race. So not that, actually, something that has gone unnoticed a little bit, Nicolo Falzresi is the only driver to have not pitted for a new set of tires on the safety car. He is still on the set of softs that he started the race on. Now, I don't see the reason why, because of course he's got track position now, but those softs can't last that long, and he's gonna have to pit soon, and he's just gonna give up all those positions again. Now, I am not the brightest with numbers and strategies, and I mean, he did win the previous race in Jeddah, so I think he knows what he's doing, but it is pretty crazy that he is the only driver that has not actually changed to a new set of tires. So very interesting there from from Nicola Falzresi. And we'll see how his strategy pans out and what he's going to do next. As we're getting ready for the restart of the race, safety car is in this lap. Nicola Falzresi is able to control the pace. And so he is the only driver still remaining on his tire set that he started the race on. He almost brake checked later on as the race is back on the way. Falzresi leading the way. Logan Ron right behind him. You can see Jensen Rendo was right there, looking up the inside of Logan Ron. As we go into turn 1, Jensen Rendo has made the move stick. So to do this there, up the inside of Alexei Kovenemi. Kovenemi just about hangs on. Dion Staal following his teammate in front of Max Mulder. Jan Risic fighting off Christian Dorman behind him. And the race is back on the way. Now what can Nicola Falzresi do? He is on those old soft tires. Now is he going to just try and defend to keep his track position? How hard is he going to make it for Jensen Reno to get through on him? Of course, Jensen being on those fresh soft tires. He's all over him. The only thing I can think of course, with Jensen also pitting for softs, maybe Falzresi is just looking to do a two-stop now. Yellow flags in sector 2, what has happened? I think it must have been a bit of an incident for someone. As Jensen Randall takes the lead in 130R at the end of lap 8. Now I don't think Nicola Falzresi will have anything to respond with on those older tires. As Brian Power picks up a 3-second time penalty. Leon Staal under pressure here from Christian Dorman. Oh, and he's being pushed off the track there. And Julian Risic just spun coming through turn 1. Oh, and he gets collected by Brian Power. Julian Risic still in the race. And Brian Power is the 4th driver to retire. And Reese March is gone as well. Reese March has lost it through the S's. And another safety car. Now does Jurem Risic have damage on his car? I can't see anything on the front wing, but that was a big impact with Brian Power. It probably has damaged the side pods or the floor of the car. Another incident. Just 9 drivers remaining, so every single driver who is still in this race is guaranteed for points as Jurgen Risic makes a bit of a clumsy half spin there coming out of the hairpin. But it doesn't matter because we're on the safety car, so it's not going to lose him anything. And that's easy to do with overheated tires. He probably still had slightly too much temperature in his tires after that crash with Brian Power. Or it could also be the effect of the floor damage that he has likely picked up. So of course, perfect opportunity now for drivers like Nicola Falzaresi and SRL to pit. And this covers off Nicola Falzaresi's decision to stay out on old softs. And of course the medium runners are staying out, so that means that Logan and Ron has been reinstated at the front in front of the Finn Alexei Koivaniemi. Right, let's take a deep breath, because what we've seen already in the first 10 laps has been crazy. It feels like this race has been going on for much longer than that, to be honest. We've had 10 laps and there's already been so much that has happened in this race. Anyway, Logan de Ron, Alexei Koivaniemi and Sant Dullis all on the same combine of tires. And with the same age as well, as Brian Power tunes into the live chat, typical of Japan, takes forever, yeah. And Brian, commiserations for your crash. I mean, I saw what happened. Jurgen Risic lost his car in front of you and, well, you basically had nowhere to go. Kind of what happened to Logan de Ron in Jeddah. So, I'm sorry for you to end the race like that. But it does mean that we're only with 9 drivers left. And so, everyone outside the top 5 on fresh mediums. Everyone in the top 3 on slightly used mediums. And then we've got Christian Dorman, the only driver on softs. So I think he's the only one who won't be able to make it to the end here. I didn't see Jure till it was too late, and Reese had already taken evasive action, but I couldn't do a thing as he came across. Yeah, I saw it, it was very, very unlucky. And a very frustrating way to enter a race, I can imagine, but I guess it's part of racing and league racing. Just one quick thing though, just before the race I increased the volume a little bit for the game sound, so I think it is pretty alright in this balance now with my microphone audio. But if you could let me know if the game audio is fine like this, or if I should maybe lower it slightly, it would be appreciated, because in my headset the game audio is very, very loud, but I think it should be fine on the live stream. But if it is slightly too loud, then let me know, then I'll decrease the volume a little bit. I think I'm gonna avoid tracks that start with J. Jeddah got taken out, Japan taken out. Yeah, maybe that could be a solution. So, we're getting ready for the restart. Safety car is gonna come in. And Logan Ron is controlling the pace. When will he decide to restart the race. Thanks for letting me know that the audio is fine. Logan Aron coming around the final corner. He is still slowing down. Now he starts to go. And the race is back on the way as we start lap 12. Alexei Kovenemi in second place. Sandro Dooley is in third, defending from Christian Dorman behind him, who's coming under pressure from Jensen Rendel. Rendel up the inside, moves up into fourth position. Yellow flags. Oh, Jurem Rustic and Max Mulder have spun. Now did they collide? Or did they lose it on the curbs? Ah, very unfortunate also for Jurem Rustic. How many incidents is he going to be caught up in today? Anyway, still a long way to go. Logan Aron, he's already bridged that gap to 0.8 of a second to the Mercedes behind him. Sander Dooley's up to P3, but of course Jensen Rendel. Oh, Dion Staal is spun coming out of the hairpin, and he has lost his front wing. Very unfortunate there for the Dutch driver. That means that Max Mulder and Jurem Rustic can't get through on him. I don't know if they have damage, but Dion Staal certainly does, and we'll have to make another pit stop. Sandro Dooley still defending his third position, but he's got Jensen Rendel behind him. Rendel looking to the outside here as you break down into the Cassia triangle. It turns to the inside for the second part. Dooley is trying to stick it on the outside, but he can't, and loses P3, and now comes under pressure from Christian Dorman. Dorman with the preferred line on the inside coming into turn 1. Oh, and he gets it done. Dooley's has been out to dry a little bit there, and he's in a half sandwich. Also, Nicolas Fonse is looking to take advantage. He's looking to the outside. Has gone to the SO, and in make contact. Fonse, he goes around, and the other Haas as well. Both the Haas cars into the wall. Christian Dorman and Nicolas Fonse both spinning out at the exact same moment. Another synchronized spin in the S section. Sandro Dooley is well clear now of fourth position, and Jensen Rendel has taken over second place from his teammate Alexei Kovenemi and can now chase after Logan Aron. 1.8 seconds is the advantage for the American. What can Jensen Rendel do on those fresher medium tires? Max Mulder getting through on Christian Dorman for P5. Oh, and Dorman has spun again. I think Valtresi had a bit of a moment there as well. Jurem Rustic is now getting close to the back of Christian Dorman. Oh, Juris drifts across the grass there. What a move. I don't think that was intentional. Rustic up into 6th place. That was quite a spectacular way to overtake someone. Anyway, Alexei Kovenemi 5/10 behind his teammate Jensen Rendel. The gap is already down to 1.5 seconds now to Logan Aron at the front. Brian saying, I thought this was a lot more like a drift competition. Yeah, I think you just confirmed that. Jensen Rendel. He is continuing to put pressure on Logan Aron. Those two have been fighting it out all season for the championship. They're likely going to fight it out for the victory today. And both the Haas drivers now into the pit lane. Dorman rejoins the P8. Nicolas Fonse, the race winner from last time, now drops to last. Meanwhile, Jensen Rendel has closed the gap to under a second. He is now inside the DRS 1 second window as we see yellow flags. Dion Staal has lost it in the S and he's lost his front wing. That's unfortunate for the number 19. Meanwhile, we've got a virtual safety car for that incident, probably to clean up that front wing. So the battle for the lead has been put on hold for now. And Dion will have to replace another front wing. Plenty of souvenirs for the fans today with the bits hanging around the track. Exactly. There's gonna be quite a lot of front wings and debris and all those kind of things around the circuit. Jensen Rendel, you can just visually see him close that gap. It's already down to 0.6 of a second. Of course, he is on 4-lap fresher tires, but still, he is showing why he deserves this championship. Of course, his attempt to get into the lead was cut short by that virtual safety car, but this time he will be able to utilize that DRS on the start-finish straight. As we go through the Casio triangle, Logan Aron, he is not giving up, he is still trying to stretch him. It's now back up to 0.8 of a second, but Jensen Rendel will be aided by the DRS on the straight here. It's almost back to over a second, 0.9 there briefly. As they fly through turn 1. Also Alexei Kovenemi not that far behind, 2 seconds. You can still just about see those two drivers in front of him. As we see yellow flags yet again. And it is Nicolo Falzaresi who has lost his front wing on the exit of Dagna 2. It's all part of the learning curve. It's how racing can go. You win the previous race and then the next race goes like this. It's part of it all. .6 of a second now. Jensen Rendel continues to close the gap. There's a back marker as well that we're coming up to. That is Nicola Falzaresi. Just gonna have to be a little bit careful here. And he pulls off there. Nicely done by the Italian. Now when will Jensen Rendel make an attack? He's gonna have a go, of that there is no doubt. You can see Logan Aron, you can see him weaving on the straight there to try and shake him out of that slipstream. Oh, Rendel with that tight line through turn 1. As you come through the S's where we've seen so many drivers lose the car. Briefly even under half a second there. Through Dagna 1 and Dagna 2, absolutely pushing to the limit there on the track limits. As we go into the hairpin, I think the breaking point for the Casio triangle could be an opportunity if you're close enough. As we see yellow flags again for, I think that was Nicola Falzaresi who lost it in turn 1. Very, very tough day for him. From hero to 0. And he'll need a safety car to keep him within a chance of a decent result here. As we come through the Casio triangle once again, there'll be 10 laps to go. And it's 0.4 of a second between Logan Aron and Jensen Rendel. Rendel has got the DRS advantage. Will he be close enough to make him with the turn 1? Aron defends the inside. Rendel trying to go on the outside. Logan Aron defends the position. Rendel will have to tuck back in to second place. But I think the battle for the lead has now well and truly started. And Randall will have to DRS again on the next lap. He knows he can also just study Logan Ron's techniques and lines. He can see where strong and weak points are. He knows that he's probably going to defend it at turn 1. Now where will Jensen Randall try to make a second attempt? Great exit there out of the spoon curve onto the back straight. And there's more at stake here than just championship points. This is personal. Those two have been fighting it out for the championship all year. I think they both want to prove a point to each other. This is, of course, a race win, but this is almost like a mental thing as well. Randall in the slipstream, he goes to the outside this time in the turn 1. Can Randall anything to defend? Randall into the lead. Aron wasn't able to defend the position this time round, and Jensen Randall has made it stick. I said he know that Logan Ron was going to defend that into turn 1, so he opted for the outside line this time, and he has managed to make it stick and take the lead of the race. Now what can he do? Will he be able to break him and build the gap? Because he was lining up, you could see him. He tried it on the outside, the previous attempt. Didn't work. And this time he got it done before Logan was able to defend. As we've got another virtual safety car, I think that might have been for Niek van Gelder again. As I think I saw him going slowly through the first sector. It could also just be for debris. Or it might have been for the other Haas. Christian Doorman. Might have been for him. It's hard to tell. Anyway, it was just a pre-first safety car, so it doesn't really affect anything. And in the meantime, Jensen Randall has managed to escape out of that 1 second window. He's out of DRS as Alexei Kovenemi goes into the pit lane. So he's doing a 2-stop for a new set of soft tires. And that will probably promote Sandro Dulles into 4th place. Correction, 3rd place. As he now overtakes Kovenemi, who is still in the pit lane. There he is. So, Sandro Dulles running on course for top 3 bot. Alexei Kovenemi is within a second, and of course on fresh soft tires. So this is not going to be a fair contest really. Now Alexei Kovenemi has opted to pit. Now will the other medium runners also make it a 2-stop race and go to softs? Will the mediums be able to last? Alexei Kovenemi looking to the outside, will turn to the inside here for spoon curve. He backs out of it and thinks better of it. It's really only a 1-line corner through there, and of course he does have those fresher and softer tires, so it's better to wait for another opportunity to get through on the Ferrari in front of him. Maybe into the Castro triangle here. No, he decides to wait for the DRS. In the meantime, Logan and Ron is still sticking with Jensen Randall. It is just still under a second as Alexei Kovenemi has looked on the outside of Sandro Dulles and gets the move done now with the DRS up into 3rd position again. Now maybe Alexei Kovenemi decided to pit just to get the fast lap because he knew he wasn't going to catch the top 2. I think that might have been his reasoning. As Max Mulder also gets through on Jure Maris. It's great, but oh no, Jure has lost command of 130R and he's into the wall and he has lost his left front tire. And Jure Marisic is out of the race. Ah, that is unfortunate. For the number 29. And another safety car. The third full safety car we have seen. So, what does this mean? What will Jensen and Logan do? Also, I think, is that Tim Wenting tuning into the live chat? If it is, then cheers for tuning in. And, not quite a full lobby indeed. Especially not anymore with all those retirements. And we do see Logan Ron and Jensen Rendell both bidding for a fresh set of soft tires. Now I think most drivers will follow suit and do the same thing. Yeah, Sander Doelis also decides to box. Of course, it is still going to be a sprint race of about 4 or 5 laps, I presume. So it is probably better to actually be on fresher soft tires. Now, only Dion Staal and Nicolas van Gelder have opted to not pit. But maybe they'll still make a pit stop at the end of this lap. Well, Tim, this league certainly isn't dead. Of course, with only 8 drivers remaining, it's not a very crowded field, but with the race we've seen today, you don't really need a full lobby to have an action-packed race, I can tell you that. So the safety will probably stay out for one more lap to let the rest of the field catch up. Now this does hit a bit of a reset button and also gives a chance to Logan Ron to re-attack Jensen Rendell, and of course the tire disadvantage that Logan Ron previously had has now disappeared. They are now on equal tires. Of course early on Logan Ron was running on slightly older mediums, now they're both on fresh softs. And also Alexis Kovenemi has shown that he does have the pace. He was still running within 2 seconds of those two in front of him before he pitted for a new set of soft tires. So I think those top 3 drivers are all still within a chance of winning this race. And even Sander Doelis could be an outsider. If maybe those 3 drivers at the front battle with each other, hold each other up, maybe even take each other out, Sander Doelis could be a bit of a dark horse here to pick up the pieces. And also this also brings Nicolas van Gelder back into the frame. He's had a very tough race, fresh after his maiden victory last time in Jeddah. So I really hope that he can turn it around now. He's got a new chance to make up for it, and hopefully he'll have a clean end to this race, and maybe he will be able to move up a couple of positions, because he has shown that he is also very fast. However, Valtzeresi is a lap down actually. So I don't know if there's enough time for him to actually get his lap back. Here he is. Now is he allowed to overtake? I don't think he is. So that's unfortunate for the Italian, because that does mean that he will stay in last. Now of course he will still pick up 4 World Championship points, But yeah, I don't think there's enough time for him to unlap himself. Because I think usually it would be allowed. Now will Dion Stahl be able to catch up? I think the safety car is going to come in on this lap, so Dion will have to hurry up a bit here. No, actually the safety car stays out, so it's fine. Dion will be able to rejoin the queue. Now it is going to be fascinating to see what is going to happen between Jensen Render and Logan Raw. Because they seem to be pretty equal in pace. And also pretty equal in their determination to win. So this does give a bit of an opportunity again to just calm down a little bit, sit down, take a breath, close your eyes and brush your voice to get ready for the final 4-lap sprint to determine who's gonna win the penultimate race of the season in Season 7 of SRL. Safety car will be in this lap. Jensen Bender will lead the way. Logan and Ron will be determined to make a move. I think Logan is worried that Jensen is gonna escape. I think he's gonna try and make a move soon to break up his rhythm. And there we see the confirmation. Safety car is gonna come in on this lap. And we're getting ready here for a final 4-lap sprint. Jensen Randall weaving to warm up his tires. When will he decide to pull the pin? Coming around the Casio triangle. Lighting up the rear tires. Jensen Randall is off and the race is resumed. Further back, Sander Doel is there. Coming under pressure from Christian Doorman as we go into turn 1. Fortunately, everyone's still in a straight line. Just 3 laps remaining. A 3-lap sprint here. Jensen Randall already trying to break Logan Ron. It's up to 0.6 of a second. Will Logan Ron be able to stick with that Mercedes in front of him? Will he be able to do anything in those final few laps? Alexei Kovenemi backing him up in 3rd position in front of Sander Dulles, who sees his podium chances fading, with Christian Doorman closely following him as well. Oh, this is an amazing pace that Jensen Randall is showing here. He's already bridged that gap to nearly outside of a second. And of course the RS won't be enabled just yet. Oh, Max Mulder has made a mistake and has dropped back to last place. Jensen Randall on those fresh soft tires, 129.154, 1 second to Logan Ron in 2nd place, a further second to Alexei Kovenemi, and Jensen Randall is showing why he deserves this Season 7 SRL World Championship. Just 1.5 laps remaining. Max Mulder's misery continues. Another mistake. And also Dion Staal lost it there in the Dunlop curve. Meanwhile, Jensen Brendel, he is broken. Logan Aron. It's over 1.5 seconds. Max Mulder, I think he is just looking to get to the finish line at this point. He's got gravel on his tires. Probably overheated tires as well. Not the race that he would have been hoping for as he spins round in the hairpin. Hits the wall as well. Very, very disappointing way to end the race in his first race as a GT3 champion. Jensen Brendel starts the final lap. Another fast lap for the Brit. 1:29.0, and the gap is over 2 seconds. It's extraordinary what Jensen Brendel is displaying here. An absolute exhibition. And he will surely take the victory here in front of his season-long championship rival, Logan Aron. Just half a lap to go now for the number 15 Mercedes. As he comes through Spoon for the final time. On towards the back straight, no pressure from behind anymore. It's over 2 seconds to the Alpine behind him. A further 2 seconds to Alexei Kovanemi. Around 130R. And through the Casio triangle for the 27th time. Around the final corner, Jensen Brendel is gonna take the win here in Suzuka and is the 2021-22 SRL Season 7 World Champion, the first double World Champion in SRL. Well done to Logan Aron, finishing in second place in this race. And also with that, take second place in the championship. Alexei Kovanemi picks up the final points position, podium position rather, in front of Sander Dulis and Christian Doorman. Now we're just waiting for Max Mulder to finish the race in 7th place. And his struggles continue here on the last lap. But what a race from Jensen Brendel. What a season as well it has been for the 19-year-old Brit. He has shown why he is the first driver in SRL to defend a World Championship crown. Logan Aron has also put up a really strong season, and he'll be keen to bounce back from this championship and go at it again next year as Max Mulder comes round the final corner, lighting up the rear tires as he crosses the line in 7th position. So that has been it for round 21 of Season 7 in the SRL F1 World Championship. Jensen Brendel taking the victory. And with that, also taking his second championship win. What a way to bow out of SRL, as he will retire at the end of the season. Just one more race to go for him. But he has taken the double. And is the first driver, like I said, to defend an SRL championship. It has taken 7 years for someone to do it. It has been a very, very impressive stint in SRL for Jensen Brendel. Also winning the 2020 2.4 Hours of Le Mans and the 2021 SRL GT3 Championship. He is now backed it up with 2 SRL F1 Championships. This is your official result. Jensen Rendel, Logan Ron, Alexei Kovanen, Sander Dulis, Christian Doorman, Dion Staal, Max Mulder, and Nicola Valtresi being the last driver to finish the race a lap down. Valtresi has gone from first to last in 2 weeks' time, but I'm sure he will bounce back as well in the next race for the final round in Interlagos. Something is saying that his sidepod was heavily damaged, so it is still very impressive for him to actually still claim 4th position in that race despite the damage. But yeah, it was certainly a race of attrition here today. Only 8 drivers finishing the race. Tons of mistakes. We've seen a lot of spins, especially in the first sector, and also quite a few retirements. Not as many as a couple of rounds ago in Singapore, where we only saw 5 cars finish the race. But still, it was certainly a very action-packed race, and not only in a good way. Way too many incidents, and hopefully all of the drivers who crashed out today will have a good final race. Same goes for Ewan Wiss as well. He really needs a clean race. He has been involved in so many incidents over the last couple of weeks. Of course, that controversy in Jeddah. Also a crash fest in Zolder in GT3 last week. Also again getting himself involved in controversy with the championship leader and winner Max Mulder. And luckily he didn't really cause any incidents with anybody else, but he just crashed out himself, which is unfortunate for him. So hopefully he can have a good end to his season as well for the final round in Brazil. So, join us next time on the 4th of June for the final round in Brazil, which will be the final round of the season in terms of the F1 season, but we will also have the annual Indy 500 on Project Cars 2 on the 18th of June, which is always one of the most exciting races that we have here in SRL, so stay tuned for that. Mark your calendar, 18th of June for the Indy 500. Now just quickly for them this live stream, I will invite the podium runners here and maybe a couple of other drivers to see if we can get a few drivers up here in the booth to interview a little bit and maybe ask a few questions to round off the live stream here. Randall. Because I can't find the PSN names of Logan Ron and Alexei Kovanen, because I don't think I've got them in my PSN list, as we've got Sander Dulis joining the booth here. And also Jensen Rendel joining today. We'll start off with Jensen Rendel, of course, taking a really impressive victory after that short restart. We had a 3-lap sprint basically at the end. And Jensen Rendel, you've shown why You've won the championship this year. Well, you've won it last year. Really impressive performance today here in Suzuka, and a very nice way to properly wrap up the championship for season 7 here. So talk us through your race, and of course only one round to go as well after this in Interlagos before you will retire from SRL. So yeah, talk us through what happened from your POV.
Yeah, thank you. It was a bit annoying with the safety cars, how they were timed. A little bit not to my liking, because I was of course on the ult strat after I crashed in quali. But yeah, got onto the mediums, enjoyed making some moves here and there. On Sandro, I got my team on that one as well. I had some insane closing speed on him. But yeah, just kept it cool and just drove as I usually do, and yeah, managed to pass everyone. And yeah, the safety car at the end, I don't know what, probably just gave me the secure fast slap in the end at least, so it's another maximum points, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, all race you were pretty evenly matched with Logan Ron, but you always look to have the advantage. And of course, before the final safety car, you were also in slightly fresher mediums, but still, you were clearly able to, first of all, pass Logan Ron and then break him. And I think it was almost getting to outside of a second. And then, of course, we had that quick restart, and you just pulled away by 2 seconds. I mean, you were in the 29s in those last few laps, which is crazy. So again, hats off for that performance and for the victory, and massive congratulations as well. And well, of course, also the first driver in SRL to be able to defend the championship crown and take a double F1 championship, and of course also winning the SRL GT3 championship last year, winning the 2.4 hours of Le Mans the year before that. So it's a very impressive CV, and well, the relatively short time span that you've been here. So again, congratulations and hats off to you. Also, Sander Dool is here in the booth. Of course, he missed out on the podium, but he still finished in 4th place. And it looked like he had quite a bit of damage throughout that race, especially in the latter stages. So yeah, what happened to you, and what was it like to drive those final few laps?
Yeah, first of all, I mean, 4th place is a great result. I think that's like my 4th or 5th top 5 in a row, so I generally can't quite complain, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I've ever been so annoyed after a P4 finish, because I don't think maybe I could have challenged Alexi early on. I think I was quite on pace with Alexi, but I think that those top 3 are untouchable in a way, but still, just the last few laps, it was so much harder than it should have been, because I think it was after the second restart, I had Christian Dorman right behind me, and he was on fresh soft, so it was always going to be difficult to keep him behind on that stint. And he passed me down the inside for turn 1 and 2 and 2, and that forced me wide, and that opened up the door for Nicolo to try to make a move on me. Unfortunately, to my surprise, he tried to take me around the outside for turn 3, so that quick first corner of the S's, which is, I don't know what he was trying there. That's impossible to overtake around there.
Yeah,
and he
I
was
saw
going
that,
to force me. Yeah, he was going to force me on that inside curb, which is an auto spin curb, and I did not want to go there. So I just stayed on my line, and yeah, we touched. He got loose on the outside and crashed into my sidepod, and that caused some sidepod damage. Generally, that wasn't that big of an issue at first, because I had quite a big gap to, I think it was Max behind me. But then it kind of got worse as the stint went on because of the tire wear, which kicked in as well, and I think I spun with like 10 or 12 laps to go, and Max caught back up. Then I had a little moment with Max where I lost it coming out of the S's, and I caught it, but Max was kind of surprised by that and hit the wall, and he had to pit for damage, and I had my gap again. But then the safety car came out, and I was right in the mix with my damaged car and had to hold up Christian for the final 3 laps, which was a lot more stressful than I wanted it to be, let's put it like that. But yeah, I mean, ultimately I can't complain about P4. P4 is a great finish at what is my favorite track in Formula 1. And yeah, I'll take that P4 and carry that momentum going into Brazil.
Yeah, very solid race, and yeah, very impressive indeed that you were able to still hang on to the 4th position despite the damage. But Yeah, also I think in the championship you're still only 7 or 8 points behind Alexei Kovenemi for P3 in the standings, so there's still a slight chance of that. And nonetheless, it has been a very solid season. And also talking of Alexei, I tried to invite him in here, but I couldn't find him. So maybe if one of you could invite Alexei Kovenemi and Logan Ron to also have the other
I'll
two
get
podium finishes to the party, because I don't
I
know if
don't
they're still
even.
alive, but it could be also interesting to hear about them. But anyway,
I don't think he's still online.
Yeah, I think they went offline.
yeah, I think that's why I couldn't find him. Anyway, yeah, well done as well to Sander Dulles for finishing in 4th place in his very, very consistent season. And yeah, it has been a very action-packed race actually. I think if you're gonna watch it back, you're gonna be surprised about how many incidents and just things went on, because there have been a lot of spins and crashes, especially in the first sector in the S's. And yeah, it was certainly quite a bizarre race. It wasn't as bad as Singapore with only 5 finishes, but still, I think a lot of drivers that finished, I mean, nearly everyone has been involved in some sort of incident or mistake throughout this race. I think apart from Jensen Randall, Logan Ron, and Lexi Kovenemi maybe. But I think I've seen nearly everyone make a mistake or have contact during this race. So it was certainly an action-packed race, but not only for the good reasons. But it's all part of it. So anyway, thanks a lot for Jensen Randall and Sander Dulles for joining me up here and giving their insights on what their race was like. Again, massive congratulations to Jensen Randall for adding another victory to the collection of race wins, and also congratulations for winning the championship for a second time. Anyway, this is where I'm going to leave it for round 21 of season 7 of the SRL Championship on F1 2021. So thanks a lot for watching, everyone. We'll see you next week for the final round